just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I am always excited. So I'm excited again because my next extraordinary guest is a veterinarian, spiritual teacher, author, leader, founder of Protect Your Mind LLC, and just a whole lot more. But without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Angela McIntyre. How are you doing today, Angela?
I'm doing fabulous. And you?
Absolutely, Angela. And as I mentioned prior to this segment, everything is unfolding perfectly, as you mentioned as well. And we're here because we're meant to be here at this present moment. And I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude to you
Mhm.
for deciding to be on here with me on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved at this present moment. Thank you very much, Angela.
Honored to be here.
Yes, yes. So, let's just dive right into it. And I wanted to say this.
Now,
It's ironic that you're a veterinarian and my daughter, who's 16 years old, is interested in being a veterinarian. So I just want to hear just a little insight on you becoming a veterinarian, what interests you in that, and just give me a little insight on being that.
well, I grew up from in a small town. I was around animals. Not that my parents had a farm, but my grandfather and had a farm. So I was able to see chickens and horses and cows and all of those good things. And then one of my favorite uncles had a ranch and have a ranch today with those things on it.
Okay.
But I think the thing that really got me, I've always been interested in medicine.
Oh, wow.
I used to read books, medical books, trying to figure out the cure for things.
Mm,
And that, along with, I remember when I was around, I don't know, 7 or 8, we had a collie named Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown died of heartworms.
oh,
And I
wow.
felt so helpless because I could see him being sick and I felt like I didn't know what to do. And then finally we end up having to take him to the veterinarian, get him put down. And I said, I don't want to be this helpless again. And I think that when I did decide to go to a professional school after undergrad, I knew I wanted to be a doctor of some
Right,
sort. I just
right.
didn't know if it was going to be human medicine, which I considered, or veterinary medicine. So anyway, I ended up choosing veterinary medicine as the pathway to go. Now,
Right.
once I became a veterinarian, ironically, I didn't go into clinical practice. Now, there was a reason for that as well. So my thought process was to become a large animal clinician
Oh,
because
wow.
I've been around the food animals and the horses around, the farm and all. So that's what I was really aiming to become. While I
Oh,
was in veterinary college, I had an opportunity to experience internships in which one, I was almost killed by a steer at a sale barn.
wow.
That
Wow.
same year, I was almost killed by a horse on my a large animal rotation.
Wow.
I'll never forget one of my large animal clinicians, Dr. Kenneth Newkirk was his name, said, McIntyre, if you want to go into veterinary, large animal medicine, you're going to shorten your life in half.
Mm,
Well, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I remember another professor of mine who was familiar with this federal agency that I ended up doing the two internships with, but then going into another one. And I'm not going to mention which one it was, but I ended up getting into regulatory medicine, which
okay.
is basically working for the government and enforcing federal regulations to keep our meat safe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the meat that we eat, I do things to help keep it safe. So now
Wow.
I've 30 years in and I'm teaching those things.
Mm,
Things that I learned from that to junior veterinarians and other folks. So that's what I do on a say full-time basis.
mm,
But
wow.
now getting into some of the things that you and I talked about before we got on the call, the spiritual calling. Um, that's another story. So that's how I got into veterinary medicine and what I've done so far. But I'll let you lead the conversation into,
Oh
uh,
no, you can take it wherever you want. I enjoy just sitting back and listening, and it's good practice for me. I'm gonna be honest with you, to keep my mouth shut at times and let somebody else take the conversation, even on my own show. So I don't mind that. So if you take it into whatever direction, I'm gonna follow you as well. But I appreciate that. And that's what I was going to lead to you to next is the spiritual. But thank you. Before I go further, thank you for giving us a little clarity on that
yeah.
a
Mhm.
veterinary journey. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, I want to know, as far as you being a spiritual teacher, give us a bit of insight on that, how that sort of transitioned, evolved, if you will, or paint us a picture on that and what does that entail from your perspective. And yeah, just give us a little insight on
So
that.
I grew up
Excuse me.
in a very strict environment. I was, taken to church. So I grew up in a church environment,
Right. Same
Southern
here.
Baptist Church. Okay.
Same.
And when I left home to go to college, there was something that was inside of me that I always felt like I was not necessarily getting the whole picture or the whole truth who God was,
Right.
honestly. I
Right.
started seeking whatever that feeling was that was nudging me at the time. I didn't know what it was at the time, but this is just what I was feeling. There was something inside that was nudging me that there was something more to this life than what I had been given. And so I say, to everyone, we all had to grow up in an environment. And whatever that environment was, it it trained you, you got inundated with other people's ideas, thoughts, teachings, and stuff like that. And
Right.
I'm say that may not be what you that's meant for you. So anyway, so I continued on this journey searching. I, searched other religions. I studied other religions. I made friends with people across the board, learning different things, different cultures, and just spiritual things. And I came to a point in my life that God was much more than what I was being taught.
Mm,
There was a book that I remember reading early on when I started on this spiritual awakening journey. It was called Mary's Message to the World.
mm,
That book was so impactful because she gave me a view, or the author gave me this view of what God really is, not condemning religions
right.
in doing so. Okay. And it resonated with me. So another point to, the audience is that when something is true, it will resonate in your spirit. But that's another story, and we'll keep on going.
Agree. I agree. No, no,
Um,
no, not to stop you, but that's a very enlightening and empowering statement. And I know you say it's another story, but I want to highlight that when something um, aligns with you or you read a bit of information, yeah, it resonates with you. And
yeah.
another thing I was going to say real quick, and please don't lose your train of thought, please, Angela. But I just wanted to highlight this. We all have these inner voices, and I believe it's God, source, universe,
Yeah.
speaking to us, that nudges us and lets us and leads us and guides us and lets us know. We choose to sometimes ignore it or allow it to be drowned out by other people's
Mhm.
um,
Idea.
opinions and
Mhm.
ideologies. Yes, but
Mhm. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So I'm aligning with everything that you're saying thus far,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's an identical parallel journey to my own.
Yeah.
So I know this further just solidifies why we're here today speaking with each other.
Okay. So
Yeah,
as life continues to happen when you are away from home,
right,
right? Everything that happens in your life, it happens for a reason. And that reason is steadily building you to become the person that you're going to be. So another tidbit, you know, is that never condemn anything that has happened in your life, be it good or be it bad, because the Bible says, and I mean, and I'm not here to be a minister or anything, or to force a particular thought on anybody, but this is true. Everything happens for a reason, and we should be thankful, whether good or bad. And I just lost the Bible verse, but whether good or bad, everything happens for the good for those who love God. All right. Now I have a definition of who God is, but that's another story. But the point is, everything, be it good or be it bad, it happened for a reason. It was designed to happen for a reason. And there are two reasons that we should figure out, or two things to be grateful for. Is the time that you were born, and the day you figured out why. Two things we should celebrate: the day you were born and the day you figured out why. Because things happen, and a lot of people, they take those hardships and they become depressed. They look down on it. There's just the mindset causes them to not look at it in the right way, and they end up going down instead of up.
Absolutely.
So as life began to happen to me, everything happens for a reason. And
Mm,
so fast forwarding to veterinary college, I would say that, or even from veterinary college to when I started working and having to interact with people on a different level. Because when I started working, I had to start interacting with people on the level of, I am a supervisor. I'm leading people, right? I'm training people, right? So there are certain things about me that had to be in alignment with the person that was being built from childhood up so that
mm.
I could be an effective leader.
Wow.
It is during this time and some experience that I had that I came to a point in my life where I realized that who that voice or that nudge that I was feeling, some people call it a sixth sense, some
Mm,
people call it the Holy Spirit, some people
mm,
call it that thought or something
mm,
told me or
mm,
God. Everybody have a name for, or instinct. But what I realized, that that instinct was a thing. It is a thing. That's something that's not focused on when we go to these religious ceremonies. They don't
right.
talk about that thing in the right way. They kind of mention certain things, but it's not really, it's just not the focus of attention when it should be
Right.
like that, when it should be, because it is that instinct. That's when you learn how to tune into it, you're actually tuning in to the thing or the entity as to why we're gathered in the first place, which is
Right.
God or
Right.
Allah
Yeah.
or
Right.
whatever you call it. That is the
Right.
thing that we're here for. So we need to focus on what can we do to
Mm,
learn how to actually hear it and pay attention to it. And
mm,
that's one of the things that causes us to go astray, because we go through these routines of going to church and going through the regular routines of that, or going to the mosque and the regular routines of that, or going to the synagogue and the regular routines of that. But nobody really stop and say, okay, except the Buddhists.
right. Right. Right.
And then other religions call them devil worshippers, and that ain't true.
Right. Right. Let me stop you right there. You see, I'm not a Buddhist, but see, look the symbol that I use for my. You see,
uh,
you see
I see it. I see
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like, see, I'm
I
not a
see
Buddhist,
it.
but see, you know,
I
some of the
know.
teachings and some of that they
Absolutely.
stand for. I
Right.
align with it. So I get what you just said. You see,
Yeah, because
you
see
keep clarifying while we here.
right. See the problem with the human spirit is that we're always trying to find the difference in
Right,
each other. We're
right,
no different than
no,
one another. These
right,
religions, these people have fought for years and years and years because somebody had a different idea than this person, and that person, you try to make that thing. No, in my book, which is called The Instinct Impact, I talk
okay,
about, because I'm this is the kind of person I am. As a leader, when I'm trying to solve problems, I get
okay.
to the skinny of it. I have to go
Mm,
back to the beginning to figure out why the problem is a problem in the first place.
wow, the
And the
root.
problem, and the problem with us is that we have gotten away from the Garden of Eden. So what am I talking
Mm,
about?
mm,
What I'm talking about is when Adam and Eve was in the garden and God was talking to them, that was instinct.
mm. Wow.
In other words, they only listened to God. But now
Mm,
God warned them, said that there's a tree over there, and you can eat from any tree in the garden, but don't eat from that one.
right,
But they disobeyed him and they ate from the tree, right?
right,
Eve started it. She went and listened to the snake, and the snake convinced her to eat the apple.
right.
So she ate the apple, and then Adam got distracted by her. Now, I believe the writer of that was trying to get us to understand that there are distractions out here, distractions that keep us from listening to our instincts or the voice of God,
There you
right?
go.
And so that's exactly what she did. And then she influenced Adam.
Right.
Now, another story or another book that can be written is why man always getting distracted by a woman, because God put him in charge, right? And so he got distracted by her and ate the apple. Then they went and hid in the garden, and God was looking for them. And he said, Adam, where are you? And he said, we over here, but we're naked. And God said, who told you that? See, before they got distracted, nakedness was nothing.
Right,
Right?
right.
They weren't doing anything crazy because they was listening to the voice of God and following
Mm,
his order all the time. And nothing got out of order because they were following his voice. But it's when
absolutely.
we get distracted from worldly things and
Right,
whatever, that's
right.
when we go astray.
Mm,
So when
I
I talk
agree.
about in my book that if people need to get back to the Garden of Eve where they're not distracted, or they need to learn or get a stronger sense of how to hear that voice. And I talk about it because when I say that in this book, I name 5 animals, and I talk about their instincts and how in certain situations I was in, I pulled from their instincts. Now, scientifically, if you look at a dichotomy chart of the animal kingdom, man is at the top. What makes man different from animals? Animals, plants, trees, insects, they only listen to instinct, the voice of God. That's all they listen to. They don't listen to religion. They don't read laws of the land, and they don't do any of that. We do. And that's why we get distracted, because we have a mind, a different mind where we can actually listen to other things, but we choose those things over listening to what God is trying to tell us. And that's how we get off. And so when I wrote this book, I wrote about my life in it. I started out, and then I talked about the 5 animal archetypes and how, when I was in certain situations, how I pulled from certain instincts. Like I named the elephant because I consider myself a leader. I was in leadership roles my entire life, um, and I'm very passionate about um, acceptable leadership because a lot of people in leadership don't know what they're doing. But I talk about the elephant, the eagle, the dolphin, the lion, and the wolf, and certain instincts that they have that I remember in certain situations that I pulled from. And it kind of just dawned on me one day when I was thinking about instincts or voice of God or whatever you call it. When I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about my life and how my life has gone astray when I didn't listen to it. Everybody can say that at some point or another, they may have been talking to somebody or to themselves, and they say, I know I should have listened to that voice. I know I should have done that first. God
Right,
is always talking to us. Are we
right.
listening?
I agree. I
Are
agree.
we listening? And we have to realize first, it is a thing. That nudge, it
Mm,
really is a thing that we need to bring out as something, even though you can't see it, but pay attention and acknowledge that that is a feeling, and it's real, it's strong, and that is your light.
right,
The Bible says we walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. Why? Because thou art with you. Well, how do you know he with you? Because that voice, you feel it all
there you
kinds
go.
of times in your life. You just have to pay
Absolutely,
attention to it. You have to pay
absolutely.
attention to it. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Wow, very powerful, Angela. And thank you for that. And while you're on the subject that you mentioned your book, how can we find your book? Through your website, through Amazon? I mean, where can we find your
It's
book?
on Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, drangela.mcintyre.com, if you want an
Okay.
autographed copy. Send you a message and I'll send you an autographed copy with, you got to give me your email, I mean, your address and all of that, and I'll do
Right.
that.
Okay.
Or you can go to Amazon.com and it's there, the Instinct Impact, Dr. Angela McIntyre, and it's there. It's not that expensive. It's like 19.99.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
if you subscribe to Kindle, I think it's free.
Oh, okay. Yes, everyone go. I encourage you to go get that book, and you know what? I'm going to get it myself. And for those that follow my show, they know that when I say I'm going to do something, that's what I do. So I'm going to look in and go get it. So
It's an easy
I
read.
can support you.
It's a
Yeah.
short read. It's an easy read. See, it's short,
Okay.
but it's impactful. It's
Yeah.
very impactful.
So we'll speak after this because I want to tap in with you and of course get I want the autograph copy.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna just go to Amazon. I'm gonna go through you and get it.
Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Okay, so that's wonderful. And I look forward to that because I love reading. I read every day. So and I encourage other people to do just even if you just read a little bit,
Yeah.
keep your cognitive functions going. You learn stuff. We're in my perspective, we're meant to learn things and to keep
Yeah.
learning. And there's never going to be a time where you're going to know everything. Like I
Yeah.
don't know in the scheme of things, I don't know anything
Yeah.
or hardly a little bit of anything. I know something, but
Yeah.
there's so much more
Yeah.
and different perspectives on the same subjects, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's amazing. So you're also the founder of Protect Your Mind LLC. Give us a little insight on how that developed and yeah, and
So in part,
yeah, go ahead.
part of talking about instinct, one of the reasons why people don't listen to instinct is because they're distracted.
Right,
Everything that comes into our body is really a temple,
right,
as the Bible tells us. It's a temple of God.
right,
That temple has orifices, which are holes that penetrate it. And anything that goes into your, or where is your skin, your mouth, your nose, anything, ears, eyes, it goes to your mind first. Your mind has to process it. And if you're not careful what you are allowing to penetrate your mind, you're not
mm,
going to hear the voice. You're not going to hear instincts. And you're going to be swaying to and fro and not knowing what to do and confused and out of alignment with what you're here for. So
right,
I started this and it's so funny when but I started as a speaking training coaching
right.
business.
Okay,
And when I was going through the process of trying to figure out what to call it, I
okay,
had a conversation with God, and God told me to name it Protect Your Mind. I said, God, that don't make any sense. Why would I
right,
name the business Protect Your Mind? And he said, I want you to fill out that form with the state of Georgia. And when it comes back as an LLC, you know that I'm talking to you. I want you to
mm,
name it Protect Your Mind.
mm,
Right. So
okay,
it's still in the process of being formed as
okay,
far as the training aspect. I am open to coming to speak to anybody,
okay,
any organization or whatever. They can contact me on my website if they want me to come and speak about whatever. And I say
right,
whatever because I am filled with so much wisdom. A lot of the things that I say, I don't even prepare. I don't even know where it come from because I know that I'm in alignment with God. And if I
right,
go somewhere just like this talk today, this is our first time talking, and I mentioned to you before we started the podcast that I don't know what I'm gonna say, and
right,
sometimes things just come out of nowhere, and I don't know where it comes from. But what I do know where it comes from, and let me rephrase it. I'm surprised sometimes of the things that come
right.
from
Yeah,
my my mind or my mouth, and I know it's coming from the source.
Right.
And everything that happens, I do believe it was divine intervention. When you
Hmm.
contacted me out of the blue,
Right.
I never listened to your podcast, didn't know
Right.
your name, anything about you, but what you were putting out to the universe is very much in alignment with what I put out on my social media as well. And so I felt that this was divine intervention, and it's going to help somebody. I pray that it does. It's going to encourage somebody. I pray that it does. It's going to heal somebody. I pray that it does. And, we'll just go from there.
Yes, absolutely, Angela. Absolutely. And as I mentioned, it just, you know, I can't say that it's shocks me anymore when I align with someone and then I start to listen to their perspectives and their story, and
Yeah.
it's just like obvious, but it's still it excites me, because I see what God is doing, and it's just another nudge, like you said, like
Mhm.
you mentioned, to me that I got you, just keep doing what you're doing. I got you. I'm gonna bring the people to
Yeah.
you that you're supposed to speak with. And
Yeah.
sometimes I've, aligned with people that I listen to them speak and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. But it's for a reason. And as you mentioned earlier, everything is meant to teach us something. Life is
Mhm.
happening for us, not
Yeah.
just to us. So embrace those things that you don't quite understand. I'm not, learn from them.
Oh yeah.
And the good, like you said, what we perceive as good, bad, positive, negative, is here to teach us, to shape us in some way, shape, or form, help us build up resilience, strength. Um, you know, so I know when you're going through it, it's difficult. It can seem very difficult, very disheartening, but you'll get through the other side.
Yeah.
God gives you the strength to do it. It's
Oh,
hard, and I
absolutely.
know I can't. I'm not in everyone's shoes, so I'm not going to even pretend to be. But I've been through some pretty difficult things that was difficult for me
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
That I didn't. That at the very moment, it felt like I wasn't going to make it through. It just felt like
Yeah.
wow, this is enough. I can't do it,
Hmm.
but I did, and I'm here. And yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I have definitely coached. I mentioned in my biography that healing part of my gifts.
Right,
And I have um, people have come into my life
right,
for whatever reason,
right.
uh, that ended up being, you know what, I think I was brought into your life to do exactly what you said I did for you, and that was
Hmm.
to heal. Um, so many people are hurting, so many adults are hurting because of things that happened in their childhood that has not been addressed. Um, And it seems like that has been one of the things that has happened when certain people have come into my life and they start to talk about certain things. And as I'm listening and I'm processing and I'm really seeing their spirit, I'm finding where the hurt, I can find where the hurt is coming from, and then open up conversations that may feel uncomfortable at first. But after we start talking and they're listening and understanding that I'm here as a sincere person trying to help you heal. Because a lot of people don't know that they don't know that they're having an issue because of certain things, and it takes a special person that's able to hear and pull those things out, right? And help them to see it, because sometimes it's hurtful to for that person to even see, especially if they were a victim in certain things like abuse and that kind of thing. And so I'm able to pull those things out and help a person, I guess, put them on a road to healing. I may not can prescribe medication for certain
Right.
things, but I do have enough knowledge to know, you know what, you might need to see this type of person for that
Right.
assistance. But in the beginning, I have been able to help a lot of people come to terms with things that have happened to them and get them on a road to recovery.
Amazing, Angela. And let me allow me to double down on that. Yeah, the healing, like you mentioned medication, but the true healing, especially when it comes to mental, emotional, it's in here. It
Yeah,
starts in here. So if
yeah,
someone can help, um, they can't do it for you, but someone such as yourself can help to point you in the right direction, with the right clarity and you know,
yeah,
design, explanation, you know, perspectives to help you, heal yourself
yeah.
and eradicate some of those things, then that is very powerful. That is a truly powerful
Yeah,
thing. And I think
just,
that's what we're here for.
yeah,
Help
it's
each other.
our minds are like computers,
Right.
it's a bunch of data that's been uploaded into our brains. And
Right.
sometimes it takes the right data technician, computer technician, to
There you
be
go.
able to just, sort those things out. I mean, because I have a gift of organizing.
Right.
And it doesn't, my organizing skills does not just stop at being able to organize a desk or a room or a closet. I
Right.
can organize things that are seen and not seen, if that
Right.
makes any sense. And
Yes.
I have helped people to take the programming in their minds and okay, we need to unload some of this stuff, clear some things out so that you can see clearly what's happening here and you can address those things that's going on with you mentally and can help you in your life physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude to you again, Angela, for being here today and for just
Mhm.
imparting us with some of your amazing energy, your insight, your perspectives, your journey. And just thank you very much. And before we conclude, I would like for you to share your website again.
It's www.drangela.mcintyre.com.
.com.
Yeah.
And one more thing before we conclude, is there anything else that we left unturned or that you would like to leave us with?
Um, sure. Just remember what I said. We have an instinct. We have an
Right,
intuition. Yeah, and the most important thing, especially in today's time, where people are listening to all of the noise and confused about what's true and what's not true, what's
right,
right and what's not right. If
right,
you learn to quiet the noise, especially put those cell phones down, put the iPads down, the computers down, that's the main thing, and get somewhere quiet and just decompress and listen and feel because God is always talking to you, and sometimes it's at the strangest moments. You could be driving, you could be cooking, you could be just but if you shut the noise down, you'll be able to hear it. And so we're not alone. And I know a lot of people probably feel like they are alone. A lot of people, you're not confused. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to be depressed. It's all about unscrambling the things in your mind and taking some of those things out, unloading some of the things that people have put in your mind or experiences have put in your mind, placed in your mind. It's
right,
about unloading those things and just focusing in on that voice. And the best way to do that is meditation. And meditation is hard to do when you're first trying to do it. A lot of
mm,
people say to focus on the breath, the breathing
mm,
in and out, breathing in and out. I asked the question in my mind one time, why do people tell us to focus on the breath? Because you can't see it. You can't
okay,
see breath. As a
right,
matter of fact, think about it like this. The body is made up of a sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. Your nervous system is broken down into two types of system, parasympathetic and nervous system. In the parasympathetic system, that is the part of the nerves that controls the things that you are conscious of. Like if I want to move my fingers or if I want to walk, I tell my brain I need to walk, I need to go over here, okay? But then there's another aspect to the nervous system that we don't think about and we don't control, like breathing.
mm, Okay.
right? When we swallow and then our body takes care of the food, we don't control that, right? We don't control our heartbeat. And you have to wonder, how is that being controlled?
Right.
God, the spirit, the spirit that is within us is controlling that, the universe, whatever, however you foresee it, because
Right.
you don't control that. So focus in on your breath because your breath is what you're not really controlling. And if you're focusing on that, you're focusing on something very powerful.
Mm.
And,
Wow.
and, and if you're focusing on that, it's going to focus on you and it'll start telling you things and talking to you.
Mm.
And that's what I would like to leave the audience with.
All right. Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you very much, Angela. And thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this. Not only help the platform grow, but get this information out there. And be sure to hit up Angela's website as well. The link will also be in the description of this segment as well, as you can read a little bit on Angela as well. And yeah, I appreciate everyone. Until next time, love and appreciation. See you soon. Enlightened, empowered, evolved.